first trip of the year, 2024.
The Shakedown trip. The first night in the woods. A chance to cast off the cobwebs. Many years ago, after discovering gear deficiencies during long trips and having to deal with the consequences, I vowed to take a simple overnight trip at the beginning of each season to avoid things like the time I realized the first morning of a trip that I'd forgotten my bathroom bag, so no toothbrush for a week. Or the trip we endured the brand new, taped and seam-sealed tent I'd bought that leaked like a sieve. I'd pack the same gear I intended to bring on my longer spring trip, and I'd test out and familiarize myself with any new gear that I'd picked up. Sometimes all would go smooth and I'd receive peace of mind. Other times I'd identify an item that required repair or replacement.
Well, first night in the bush for 2019. Beautiful morning. No wind. Slight air movement from the east. A bit of mist along the surface of the water. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm just starting out here for my first overnight trip on 2025. Doing a little loop on the Mattawa River. Starting in Pine Lake here. And going into Turtle Lake and then following the river back through to Lake Talon. And then portage back to Pine Lake and home. There are a couple of places along the way that I can stay. I got my sights set on one, but I might change my mind as we go. For this little shakedown trip in the spring, I like to have a number of different things. I like to have some lake travel, some river travel, some current, moving water, and a couple of portages. Nothing too gnarly, but just enough to get myself back into the swing of things. And because of the high water here, I'm going to be able to shorten this first portage. There's the landing right there. And goodbye landing. I'm going to chase fish. Oh, lots of little fishies in here. Oh, a turtle. Oh, lots of turtles. Lots of little fishies. And actually, this is the portage right here. Bass. Lots of fish in here. Wow. Minnows. And there we are.
Having a couple of portages on a shakedown trip helps get back into the routine. Unloading, organizing loads, securing loose items, moving everything across the trail, and storing it all back in the canoe is always a bit bumpy the first couple of times, but it ensures that things will go smoothly on the long spring trip ahead. I'm done the first portage of the season.
There we go. There's some progress. There's some progress. There we go.
If water levels are low, the short portage around the dam has to be extended along a rocky trail to the end of the rapids below. When the water is high, a quick hop around the dam, an opportunity to feel the current, and a fun run down the left side is in order. Next up is the narrows between two lakes that can be a fun little drop when the water is high. As the flow rate drops, a little more care is required. And when it's low, the channel becomes more obstructed and constricted.
Did I mention it was sort of constricted going through here?
And when it's very low, it's what I call functional freestyle. The walk back on the portage for the second load offers an opportunity to view the river at high water. At the bottom of the rapids, I get a chance to practice peel-outs. It's always great to feel the tug of a river on the hull and enjoy the ride over swift current. The last rapids leading to my camp lake is a nice gentle float over submerged boulders. Once I get to camp, I go through the familiar routine of setting up a shelter, cooking supper, building a fire, and maybe testing out some new gear.
First camp of 2024. Good to be back. Good to be back. First supper in the woods, and it's a frozen chili. And I got a new kitchen this year. That's it, right there. The whole shooting match. Wow, gas, yeah. Because I'm trying it out, I got this big can, but the go-to kit will have just a little can that fits inside here. Little tiny stove. Really tiny thing. Good. And it's a bit of a blacksmith's puzzle. Getting it opened up is not so bad, but getting it closed back up again is a little different. And this is going to be an adventure because, I really should have tried this out at home before I came out here, but I didn't. So this is going to be the first time ever firing up this little puppy. So, holy Jesus. I guess you gotta get her on there fast. As with everything, there's a learning curve. Yeah. Gas. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty easy. I guess you want to get it much out of the wind there. Back in here. Inside of my woodshed. Oh, that's some spicy chili. Yeah.
While sitting by the fire, my thoughts drifted back to old shakedown trips at the same place.
About to get on the water now. It's just after 10. Sky's clouded over and the wind has come up strong from the northeast. So I have a little bit of a headwind on the way out. Nice to be in the woods again.
The final rapids on this loop requires a bit more maneuvering once water levels start dropping, putting your moving water skills to the test. Along the final flatwater stretch of river, I break out the kayak paddle to practice the mechanics of double blading. Anytime I get a chance, I break out the wind paddle sail for a free ride. And before long, the trip is over.
Here we are. All done. First trip of 2024. And, well, not quite done. I still gotta hump everything up the last portage to the truck. And a wet start on this one. It's a mucky, slippery mucky. And there, that's the end of that. Now it's just up, 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 up. Holy smolies.